Hello everyone, I'm Brior and welcome back to Goodgame Empire. At the suggestion of an audience member, I've decided to make a video specifically about running trains in Goodgame Empire. If you've never heard the phrase running trains used before in the context of the game, what I said just then might confuse you, but don't worry, all will be explained in due time. First though, let's start at the beginning. Sometimes updates to the game radically change how players approach its events, and the introduction of accelerators did just that. Before accelerators existed, there was no way for players to rapidly skip the cooldowns present on Nomad or Samurai camps without spending a ridiculous amount of rubies to do so. The trick to succeeding in those events was thus to make the most out of every hit, since you were only going to get a certain number of hits in anyways. Players who were actively competing attacked each of their camps as soon as they came off cooldown. In the modern game, that strategy wouldn't get you very high up in the rankings. While the event's original focus was on the quality of the hits players were making, its modern focus is simply on the number of hits players can make. I think that's a big part of why players have started to complain that the game is getting repetitive and boring, though I continue to believe that there are lots of interesting things to do if you're willing to look for them. Anyways, that's a discussion for another video, since I'd like to make this video specifically about running trains. On that note, if you're expecting a full-on guide for the Samurai or Nomad invasions, that's not what this video is about either, and you should check out the Samurai invasion video I've linked to in the video description. Unfortunately, there's no official documentation that marks the original debut or format of the Nomad invasion, which came before everything else, but we can see from the update announcements on the forums that, following the introduction of accelerators, the developers made serious changes to the event. Now let's talk about how to succeed during a Nomad or Samurai invasion using the event's current mechanics. You can simply attack and level up all of your camps until they reach level 90, and then you can pick the easiest one to repeatedly hit. You can gather an espionage report, plan your attack, send your attack, wait 3 minutes for it to land, use an accelerator to skip the cooldown, and then repeat. Or you could do something very clever and run trains. Running trains is an informal phrase coined by players to describe the process of conducting multiple simultaneous attacks on one invader camp. This can be done because, after a given camp is leveled to its maximum level, it won't change setups anymore after being hit. The player thus doesn't need to wait for the camp to be defeated to know what the next defense setup will be. Multiple attacks can be launched using the same espionage report. Let's quickly run through the process from start to finish. I will start by leveling up all of my Samurai camps to level 90, and then I will compare espionage reports of them to see which would be the easiest to defeat. Try to avoid making this decision hastily, since small numbers of extra used tools or casualties will add up if you perform many attacks. Right now, conserving troops is more important to me than conserving tools, so I have elected this camp to be my target. Using my one espionage report, I'll send as many attacks as I can at that target, keeping in mind the travel time of the first attack I've sent. If you have some similar or identical commanders like I do, using attack presets can make the job much easier. Remember that this video isn't a guide on how to attack the Samurai. Check out the video description for that. I've managed to send 8 simultaneous attacks at this camp, but now the first of those attacks is about to land. When it does, the camp will be defeated and will go on cooldown. In order for the subsequent attacks to land successfully, the player must repeatedly use accelerators to nullify camp cooldowns. If you fail to skip the cooldown in time, or if you step away from your computer for a poorly timed bathroom break, you will receive a no battle alert in your inbox, and your troops will come home without having fought. After you've practiced running small trains, you can step up your game and run more than 10 attacks at one time, but only if you're strong and quick. Running trains is mostly for level 70s, since sending out multiple attacks at once requires the player to have a fair deal of available troops and tools. It also requires the player have multiple commanders which are suitable for conducting the attacks. If you get unlucky and end up with 4 difficult maximum level camps, my recommendation would be to put them aside and wait for better camps to attack next time. Running trains is a great way to keep you focused on the event. You'll amass a large number of tablets and a heaping storehouse of gold in no time. It can also be an important part of collecting seasonal points during your booster. If you choose to use this strategy for collecting seasonal points, don't forget to add 2 token or tablet chests at level 70. This will greatly increase your chances of collecting at least 75 tokens or tablets, and thus getting more seasonal points. Most players in the game use the resources they collect from the samurai and the nomads to conduct building upgrades, but even if your castles are close together like mine, you will probably be receiving more resources than you can spend while you are running trains. If this is the case for you, I would recommend spending your resources on piggy banks, which are available for stone from the nomad vendor and wood from the samurai vendor. Using these tools on subsequent NPC attacks will provide you with extra coins. Whatever you do, don't let the extra resources you loot from running trains go to waste. You might start to find that running trains can be frustrating. This is especially true for me when I disconnect from the game only to log back in and find my train has derailed, leaving a bunch of no battle reports in my inbox. If you start to become fed up, do yourself a favor and take a break. Do something else either in the game or outside of it. Goodgame Empire is a browser game, and it's not worth playing if you're not having fun. The method is called running trains because several consecutive armies marching on the world map looks like a train. I guess? Maybe if you squint. For those wondering, the longest train I've heard of was comprised of 16 attacks, although my personal best is probably only 8. I'm always adding more suitable commanders to my inventory, so I'll soon be able to add more to that comfortably, but 8 is all I've needed up until now. So there you go. Hopefully that's all that's needed to get you up and running your very own trains in Goodgame Empire. If you have a moment, please consider doing me a favor by honestly answering the survey that just appeared in the upper right corner of this video. I'd like to get to know my audience better, and part of that is figuring out whether videos like this are helpful for all of you. Alright, thank you for watching today's video on running trains against the samurai and the nomads. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you learned anything from it, please do feel free to give it a thumbs up. Also consider posting the link to this video in Alliance chat to help your Alliance members with the event. I've been Brior, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.